Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Dimmitt Chevrolet in Clearwater, Florida, because guess what? This is what you wanted. You asked for it. This is the all new for 2020 Chevrolet Camaro, but it's not the SS. This is the bargain price value sports car, muscle car. This is the LT1. Let's talk a little bit about Camaro history. So the Camaro's been around since 1967. It was that challenger, and still is that challenger to the Ford Mustang. Over the years, lots of competition. Eventually in 2002, the Chevrolet Camaro disappeared, but guess what? It came back in a big way for 2010, and now fast forward to 2020, you're looking at a vehicle that will undercut the cheapest Mustang GT and underneath that hood have 455 horsepower. But let's go ahead and dive into this new trim for the Camaro known as the LT1. Right off the bat, you'll notice that shock color. It's not called shock yellow, it's literally called shock because when you see it, that's what's gonna happen. They actually released this color at SEMA back in 2018, and here it is for the 2020 Camaro. I like what they've done for 2020. They redesigned the front end of the business here. If you remember, there was a lot of debate about where the flow tie was located. We'll get to that in a second. So you can see the headlight design going on, much smaller. You have your LED daytime running lamps, flat black all around this bottom area as well. Now what's nice is these are functional air curtains. They're not just for look, which is a great thing. And as we come across the front, this is something that we've talked in a previous video here at Dimmitt Chevrolet. This area has been revised. So they took the bow tie out of the front bumper, brought it back where I firmly believe where it belongs. The only thing is that no longer is it a flow tie. It would be nice if this was a flow tie. Remember, that is where they discovered back in 2014 on the Z28 Camaro that by hollowing out the center of the bow tie actually allowed more air, of course, to flow through to help with performance. Flat black down low, and I also like the way the grille design is exactly the same up top as it is down low. Now, as we go up onto the hood, everything is going to be the same. So you have your body lines that start on the front fascia, go into the hood, a nice raised section. This is on the LT1, you still get the same hood as the SS. So that is a functional heat extractor, flat black. I'm gonna zonk it because it's a little too small. I wish it was just a little bit longer, and I think that would even help more with airflow and pulling that hot air from the engine compartment. Now, when we get to the wheel and tire setup on the LT1, you're not gonna have the staggered wheel and tire setup like on the SS. You are going to get the same looking wheel though, so it's that 5-star kind of twist design. It's a little basic, but it works. 20-inch wheel. You can see you're going to get those 4-piston calipers. And if you're wondering, well, what is the width of this tire? It's a 245. So 245s all the way around. This one has optional run flats. Non-optioned would be your all-season tires. So it's not a Cup 2 high performance tire. That is something different from the SS's, is that you're not going to get that same high performance tire setup. Now, as we go into the classic Camaro fender, there's your LT1 badge. I'm digging it. I actually like the style of the badging, and I like the location of it. Very nice touch. We go down the side. Everything else is going to be the same for 2020, and everything is the same whether it's an LT1, an SS, an RS, or whatnot. You have the flat black on the mirror caps, which I actually like because it ties it in with that heat extractor on the hood. Also, always have liked the body line on the lower portion of the door, how far it comes out. And then of course, always the big talking conversation piece is just how low the roof sits and all the blind spots that it creates on the inside. Now, as we keep working our way back, you have that flared out fender design, and like I was telling you earlier, this one has the Goodyear run flats. So what that means is you lose all air pressure. You're still going to be able to keep on driving and not have to pull over or get a tow. You have a flat black, nice trunk lid spoiler, the black Chevy bow tie, quad exhaust. Of course, it's not the active style, but it still has a great V8 growl to it. I still do not like these rear diffusers. They have not done any extra design into it, so I am going to zonk that. I do like the way that the taillights are red instead of clear like on the SS. The other thing I'm going to zonk is, how about a nice LT1 badge on the back? But why don't we go ahead, pop the hood, and look at that V8 that's lurking underneath it. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You get hood struts on a Camaro, something different than on the Mustang. lurking underneath. Like I said, even though you're going value price, you're looking for that bargain, you're not losing any of the horsepower. So remember, that is that 6.2 liter V8 engine, 455 horsepower, 455 pound-feet of torque. In the LT1, you get to choose between a manual or the 10-speed automatic transmission. It weighs in around, with the automatic, 3,685 pounds, 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, quarter mile in 12.1, and a top speed of 190 miles an hour. Now, great news is, like I said, you're gonna have all that performance without that high price tag, and I think that this is a very smart move for Chevrolet. But enough talking about this engine and obviously those fast times. Let's go ahead and fire it up and see what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside the 2020 Camaro, the LT1. Remember, this is all about value price, and this is where you're gonna feel it. Priced MSRP, $34,995. That's a lot of performance for the dollar. Let's see what it looks like on the interior, to the door panels. Now, you're still gonna get that same basic setup door panel. You're not getting any of the special mood interior LED lighting, but you're getting some nice silver. The armrest is a nice leatherette material, and you have the softer material at the top of the door. Now, when you go from the door to the dash, just like all the rest of the Camaros, very hard dash, so I'm zonking that. That does not need to be that hard. You do have the nice leatherette material with the stitch work. When it comes to our infotainment system screen, it is gonna be that small 7-inch display, but it's super clear and really, really easy to use. If you want something bigger, you gotta go SS. One thing to be aware of, this car does come standard Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and Wi-Fi. That makes it the only one at this price point to have that as standard. You have your weird rectangle postage stamp looking start stop button. Really don't like that. I wish they would do something a little sexier than that. Can we put a little sexiness into the start stop button there? But what I do like and think is great is how the AC controls, very easy to use. You have your temperature setting here, blower fan speed, and as you can see, it shows up on the dash very, very nicely. This one, no brainer. It is optioned with a 10-speed automatic transmission. That's why this particular one has an MSRP of $39,000. You have your mode selector button, shut off your traction control for some rear tire burnouts and fun. Here's where your 12-volt is, which I hope that they move this one of these days, because if you're running a radar detector, you're gonna have that cord stretch, 2 cup holders, and then the armrest, it's harder, but you know what? You got some halfway decent storage. You could probably, if you squish the Twinkie down, could fit a couple Twinkies in there. You do have some USB and a little place for breath mints after you're done eating your Twinkie, which is nice. That folds down. Seats, comfortable. I like the gray, I like the stitch work. It is cloth, because remember, we're talking about value priced on this Camaro. But why don't you get on over to the business end? I'll show you behind the wheel of this Camaro LT1. All right, guys, come on into the cave. Camaro. It feels like you're in a cave in here. The way that the roof line, the ceiling in here, the headliner is very close to my head. I'm 6 feet tall. Now, the good news is you do have electric assist. Even though this is trying to be that value price leader, they do give you electric assist on the seating. Steering wheel looks great. Same steering wheel as the other models. Nice thickness. You got the crisscross contrast stitching. It would be nice if it said LT1 there, just to give you a little bit extra specialness, because this is a new trim level. You have your paddles on the back of the steering wheel to go up and down that 10-speed automatic transmission. Gauges are going to be very simple and clear. So you have the analog tach, analog speedometer, fuel gauge, and cooling gauge. And then, of course, in the center, you have a plethora of information that you could toggle through, which is very nice, super clear, super crisp. Why don't we go ahead? I am not getting in the back seat this time. You can watch one of my many other Camaro reviews where I get in the back seat. I don't feel like hurting my legs today. I'm going to go ahead. Let's see what the trunk space is like in this LT1. All right, guys, let's see what kind of junk we can fit in the trunk. Now, with that price tag on the LT1, we're undercutting the cheapest Mustang GT, but where the Mustang GT is definitely gonna beat this LT1 Camaro is in the trunk space. The opening is very small. Once you get it past this, then it gets a little bit better. And of course, the rear seats are gonna fold down, but the challenge is to get it through this opening. So whatever you have, you're gonna have to squish down and compact, but definitely that's not what this car is about. It's not about hauling the mail, actually literally by putting a bunch of mail in there. Let's go ahead, take it for a spin, and really haul some mail. All right, guys, we left Dimmitt Chevrolet. We're in the 2020 Camaro LT1. Remember, this is that value price sports car / muscle car where you could get into a 455 horsepower V8 powered car for $34,000. Now, this one has a few options, including the 10-speed automatic transmission, but still a lot of performance, because at the end of the day, 0 to 60 in around 3.7, 3.8 seconds, top speed 190 miles an hour, that's moving. And remember, this V8 is a pushrod V8. There's no quad cams like on the Mustang GT. The one thing, the elephant in the room that we cannot get around is the blind spots. It's hard visibility out the back, out the sides, the ceiling. You feel like you're in a coffin. I mean, it's down on you, and it's just surprising because the Corvette feels, C7 at least, feels so much more spacious, more room, and that's a 2-seat sports car, which has got me scratching my head. But definitely the shock yellow color is, or I should say just shock, because remember, technically it's not shock yellow, is the color to have. I am gonna put in manual mode. The paddles feel really, really cheap on the back of the steering wheel. And I don't like, I'm zonking where the gear indicator is. It's very, very low. But I think one place that you will see that we are not gonna zonk is the acceleration. So I'm gonna drop it down, third, second, on throttle. Here we go. This thing shifts so fast. Unbelievable. On those brakes, remember, there are no 6-piston calipers or anything like that, but still slowing you down very nicely. Turn it in, let it out a little bit. Here we go. Getting traction. It's a little damp, but we're just staying in it, man. On the brakes, very nice. Look at this. Little bit of movement. Doesn't hurt anybody. Wow. This thing is a blast. It is a total blast. If you notice, so I have it in sport mode, and the traction control allowed just enough slip to allow me to square off the corner, but I still felt like I was in control. And that's the great part of this car, is you're gonna not only save money, but you're still gonna have a ton of fun. You don't have to go get a ZL1 to have fun in a Camaro. This LT1 is just as much fun, maybe even more fun, because you're not spending an arm and a leg in it, which is great. All right, guys, back in this Camaro. Seats are comfy. The best part is the acceleration. So let me drop it down a second again, on throttle. It's so loud. I mean, it sounds so good. You're getting the right pops and bangs and everything, and just makes driving fun. That's what this car is about. Back on the brakes, downshift, very nice. Tip it in, very nice. Look at this. Very, very smooth. Getting the traction down. Woohoo! Nice. When you think about what else performance-wise can you buy for $35,000, there's not a lot out there. And I know that this one, like I said, with the options, the automatic, the Goodyear run flat tires, that kind of brought the price up to $39,000. It's still a great bargain, and definitely, like I said, undercuts the Mustang. And the sound and the performance, a car that's 190 miles an hour in this thing, that to me is mind-blowing. All right, guys, we're rolling out on throttle. Little bit of slide, that's all right. Very, very nice. I'm telling you, you're gonna wanna get on the loud pedal every time, and that's good news, because guess what? Being at a lower price point, you're gonna need that spare money you have to go get extra sets of tires. But hey, there's worse things out there to spend your money on. the fun you're gonna have being behind the wheel of this Camaro is definitely worth it. And that good old-fashioned V8 pushrod V-engine, 455 horsepower. I'm loving it. I don't go to McDonald's, so I can't use that slogan, but I'm loving this Camaro at this price point with this power. Would I be happier with a manual? Me personally, yes. That's even more fun. But this 10-speed automatic does the business. The shifts are lightning fast. And yes, the human brain cannot make the arm go any faster than this transmission, but at the end of the day, a manual would be more fun. But hey, I'm okay with the 10-speed in it as well. Really, really smart of Chevrolet to have this trim option to help get more people behind the wheel of a Camaro. But hopefully this gave you a nice overview. You're still getting all the other pluses and minuses of what a Camaro is all about. We're gonna wrap it up and get back to Dimmitt Chevrolet, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been a blast in this 2020 Camaro LT1. I think the performance is definitely as bright as this shock color, and also when it comes to bargain value, I think Chevy hit the nail perfectly on the head. You're not gonna do it in a Mustang, you're not gonna do it in a Dodge Challenger, and then at the end of the day, the performance. But if it's cars like these that you wanna see on the channel, leave a comment in the comment section. We definitely gotta thank Raheel and the rest of the crew here at Dimmitt Chevrolet for allowing us access to these great bargain value sports cars. If you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rise family. If you wanna help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description, get yourself some Rady's Rise merch. I gotta give it up to my own muscle car camera guy, Tom Motioner, with his big muscles, working the camera in the rain. Hopefully it was fun for him. It was fun for me, and I know it was fun for you. And just like always, I'll see you on the next ride.